Hey guys, I am here today to give you some step-by-step instructions for editing your Limitless C audio because we recorded this in two pieces. So I have to assume right now that you have been awesome and you've recorded your first part and your second part. And what I'm showing you here are, I actually did this project with you because I really believe in this project. I love this piece. So I have been trying really hard to get good at the flute, and I've recorded the flute part. So this is the measures 2 through 48 part. I actually, personally, I recorded measures 2 through 40 because I just thought it was easier for my brain to do that. So I did 2 through 40, and then I went to my second track and I recorded 40 through the end. So the first thing I want you to do here, and by the way, you can see on the left here that my 40 to the end took 3 takes to even have something usable, and there's a wrong note in here, which is actually super useful for us today. So the first thing I want you to do is to go into your usable take from 38 to the end, okay? And I want you to take this and I want you to add it to your loop library. This is going to allow us to move it from project to project here. And I've already done this, but I want you to name it something good. Like, for example, I just called it Limitless Flute and it was 40 to the end. Yours may be named something different, and that's fine. I've already added that loop, okay? But once you do that, if you go into your first project, okay, the Limitless C, the one in Google Classroom, that's Limitless C measures 2 through 48, okay, what you're going to need to do is you're going to go into your loop library, which is on the top right, these purple eighth notes here, and you can see that this is, I've already done this once just to practice it, but it will populate with something else, so you're going to have to X out of that and find my loops. Okay, and somewhere in there should be the loop that you just saved. And mine is called Limitless Flute 40 to the end. I'm just going to grab that and I'm going to drag it down here into a new track. Okay, so here are some assumptions that you can make. Assumption number 1 is I already knew that I ended at measure 40 the first time and I started again at approximately measure 40. So what I would do, just to be me, is I would listen to my first track just to find in this first track where the beginning of 38 is if you started at 38, the beginning of 40 is if you started there. So let's just listen to this for a second. You should be able to hear my full rehearsal track and my flute, which is called bow tie flute. So that note is an F, and I know right here, okay, I'm just following my sheet music, that's where there should be a G in the flute, okay, and you'll hear it because it's kind of wonky. I actually do a really bad job of playing that G in this track. Okay, so there's the G, and I was like, I should stop here because this is a good point to start my next recording. So the first thing I'm going to do is, again, I'm going to find the beginning of that G. Okay, so that's approximately here. Sometimes the cursor snaps to a particular place in the timeline here. And if that's the case, if you're having trouble with that, zoom way, way out, and you should be able to move the cursor anywhere you want. I'm having a little bit of latency because I'm making this video right now. But what I would do, personally speaking, is find the beginning of that note, which is right here, as long as it's not late or wrong. And I've placed my cursor, and I'm going to make a split right there and delete this note. And so what that means to me, I'm going to zoom back out here. Hopefully this doesn't go crazy. What I need to find in my new recording, my Limitless 40 to the end, I'm going to solo that so I can hear it. I need to find that G. I know that I started on that G, so if we listen to it, it's pretty much lined up, but that G needs to line up more or less with the cursor right now. It kind of does. It doesn't totally. I'm just going to slide it over the tiniest little bit, and I'm going to listen and see if it matches the track. By the way, did you hear that little fragment of the note from before? Let's just listen to it. It was kind of funny. Good. So I'm going to do something here. Because there's a little fragment of the old G, sorry, I'm just going to edit the tail end of that. But this lines up really nicely. listen critically. Make sure it's with the track. That's the only way that you can fix this. This is not something that I'm going to be able to do later on, which is actually not true. I will be, but it's going to save me a lot of work, me personally, because I'm going to edit all of these together. But let's just talk for a second, okay? I understand that you're not perfect. I'm not perfect either. In fact, for a percussionist, I'm an okay flutist, but I'm really not that great. And so I'm just going to play back part of this track, mostly for my own entertainment, and you will hear a note that is clearly not correct. If my memory serves me correctly, at measure 75 in the flute, I should be playing, let's see, it's a high C, and then I think I hit a wonky instead of a B flat. I might hit a B natural or something. It's definitely wrong. Just listen for it. Here's the C. I hit a B natural. Why did I do that? That was, honestly, it was not on purpose. That was just me being super dumb. So the problem is I have a really, really prominent wrong note there, right? The beauty in seeing these waveforms in front of me is that I can position my cursor and I can use my split region and I can find the end of that note in the waveform and I can position my cursor and I can split that out and boom, it's gone. Now I wish that note wasn't wrong. But didn't I just solve my problem? I did. I solved a problem for the ensemble because later on the ensemble doesn't need that whole wrong note. And there's going to be another flute player out there that's going to have recorded that B flat correctly. I'm not kidding you. I didn't do this on purpose. That was just a boneheaded move. I'm not that great at the flute, and so I played a wrong note. But look at that. I saved everyone's bacon here because now it's gone from the final recording. It doesn't ruin anything. I don't need to feel guilt. And I'm hoping that this is a lesson for anyone out there that is feeling like their recording might not be good enough. We can do some editing here. This is okay. We don't have a lot of time to work on this. Our situation is different in terms of rehearsal. Life is not normal right now. And so having these studio skills is very, very important to our mission. By the way, continually save this project. I do also want to tell you that this note that's missing here, I did delete it, okay? But one helpful little thing is that that's not gone forever, okay? It's actually still in the track. And if you're uncomfortable trashing it right away in terms of space, this is like kind of an old editing trick until you know you're done. One thing that I will do is when I'm doing the editing, okay, so let's pretend I split that. I'm going to take this and I'm just going to line it up in another track, okay? And if you're worried about it, just make sure it lines up perfectly right there, okay? So it lines up perfectly, and that way I can see the spaces of the places that I cut it out from. Okay, so this is where it is. I'm going to move it out. Right now it's silenced, but that way I can see where it belongs. And if I need to come back to this and remind myself, why did I take that out of there? Oh my goodness, the B natural. That's why I took it out of there. Okay, so old editing trick just to help with a placekeeper. It's like a little bookmark. We're still not done with this project, but that is what we're doing today. Please use critical ears. Listen to your combined track, which, by the way, I meant to demo that for you. And so you'll be able to hear the difference between scrolling, the place where my old track ends and my new track begins. All right, there's more to it than this, but this is where we are today. Stay tuned.